actually. So I wanted to be a doctor. I still want to be a doctor. Then I figured out it's okay. So as an artist, I'm also a doctor because somehow I heal people with my work. Hi, this is Bekezela Mabena. This is 21 Questions with Coaching Talk Studios. Shout out. I started in Gianna Secondary School. Then I moved to Artist Proof Studio. That's where I got to train and study printmaking. And it actually helped me to actually explore and find new materials in terms of working and creating. My personal history has shaped my work basically because it's the concept and the story that actually shapes the work now, and the idea of me looking back to the history of where I come from and where I am right now. So it has a very big impact and influence in my work. Yes, I have, and I can actually count them. So I would say it's Mema Tebula, Lekao Matsena, and Tracy, and Njabulo Mate, actually. So those are the people that have actually helped me to be where I am and help me also create and shape, make some of the ideas a reality in terms of like creating them and making them alive, basically. Yeah. So there's this American artist, Sam Gilliam. So I was very interested in how he plays around the scale and with the material also. So once had an exhibition in with Meta Foundation at Fourth Floor at August House. That I had like presented also one of the work that was really inspired by Sam Gilliam in terms of like the hanging style and the treating of the material, treating of the canvas, and which also really impacted how I actually see my work going into the future and how to actually explore material also. So yeah. In my experience, mastering a technique has influenced my style in a way that, which with an each and every technique, basically you gotta give it your all, and it is very important for me to actually learn and actually find a way to actually break the rules of like the technique. So since I started training in printmaking, so it also got me to learn a few other techniques and things to actually apply in my current work now, because I majored in lino cut color reduction basically. So that technique actually influenced the work that I also create now, because there's a lot of carving, there's like a little bit of like printing on it, so and yeah, just playing around with how to actually break the rules of the specific technique, just so that I can have something different and I can explore and have fun and play around with the technique basically. For me, it has always been an inspirational journey, basically, of like trying to find out. I've always been curious basically of like my surroundings and where I come from, and so staying having a studio here in the city in August House, and where there's a lot of migration coming in, migrated people also finding home and away from home. So it's been a thing of like, it inspires me to also be in the city and actually also once in a while engage with the community around here, so that I can actually be inspired and motivated to actually tell people stories and shape the direction of the work basically. Yes. That's a very interesting question. So Artist Proof Studio has taught me one thing of like teaching and going back to schools and teach and motivate young ones there to do art, and so which is something that I have not actually also explored into after being out of Artist Proof Studio, as I was working there. So it's something that I need to also go back to and actually give back and teach young ones, and so that they can actually be motivated to explore into art, because in the community that we grew up in, art hasn't been a thing of like it's a career or something. So Artist Proof Studio has taught me that with Manjazin, how to actually give back in that sense, and it's something that I need to also like explore by myself and as an artist individually. Ooh, hobbies and interests. So I'm an outdoor person. So I love nature. I like going to hiking. I love to be around bushes, trees, in the river. And here in the city, I'm a cyclist. I'm in a community of cyclists. So each and every Sunday we grab our bicycles, we cycle around the city, and it motivates me in terms of like also learning the streets of the city and playing around with other cool kids, I guess. Yeah. I have considered another career path. Okay, actually. So I wanted to be a doctor. I still want to be a doctor. Then I figured out, okay, so as an artist, I'm also a doctor, because somehow I heal people with my work. So, but if I get enough money, and I'll definitely go to school and study to be a doctor, basically, and also help people in other ways. So I guess I've been all about how to actually help the community develop in a specific way, or or maybe the ideas in my head. But yeah, so the thing is, like, I've always been a helper, and to heal, and yeah, to be a doctor, I really want to be a doctor, and I'll definitely go study to be a doctor, and which is my art is actually also doing what is doing, like healing people basically, and yeah, that's what I aim to achieve. Digital presence. I think we have become content creators. Everyone is now a content creator, because that's where things move basically. That's the shortest CV that anyone can have, rather than submitting like a physical CV. So if someone can just go to your page and gets to understand who you are in terms of like the creation of like how you lay out your content and stuff. So it's really important for young ones and maybe business owners or other people that are not actually partaking the social medias and stuff. So I think that's a very important platform to actually have fun on and play around with. Well, that one is a very tricky one because all negotiations and contracts, they tend to be different, so I have someone that I actually partake that journey with managers, and if there's like maybe a business deal or maybe a contract that needs to be signed, and I make sure there is like a third eye, a second eye or third eye that gets to look at it, and we actually discuss around it and see how we can actually work around that. And basically, so it's basically that how I actually approach that, because also I know as artists we're not really trained as in business minded, so it's always important to actually have other people on your circle that actually understands these things, so that they can share their knowledge and their with experience, so that we can move forward. So for me, I think I grew up in a social media era, basically. So in terms of posting and how you also differentiate the way you post, and it's more important because like the curation, it actually also changes. So playing around with that, it also playing around with how the audience get to see your work and stuff. So it has a lot of influence how I actually also do business, because by posting, by sharing my interest and what I really enjoy, it actually also pulls people that have like the similar interest closer to like social media page and to me, basically. So it becomes that one circle of like one circle of community, basically. So it has a big influence on that, because also you never know who's gonna be on your page or who's looking at your page. So yeah. Oh yes, that, yeah. So I like traveling. Unfortunately, I haven't actually also explored it. So I think it's a thing that I need to actually explore into and find out new places, new things, because I believe if you're not traveling, it's like reading one chapter of like a book, so of like basically where you're at. And so as much as the traveling of like coming from Zim to here has influenced and has a big impact in my work, so I would like to travel more and explore more, so that I can actually have more in my work. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna definitely change how I see things, how I actually approach also in my work. Change, I think in a positive, or I don't know, but yeah, probably positive way, because I think it will shape with the experience that I actually get from where I'll be. Yes, so yeah. Hey, that's a difficult one also as an abstract artist, or maybe I should say non-figurative artist, because dating back, used to also like draw figures, and so now the clients or the buyer gets to be a little bit more difficult of like, oh man, this ear of mine is not really showing the way it's supposed to. So I actually exploring into the abstract world is it's a little bit also difficult, because now you need to share the idea and it needs to also make sense before it actually is on paper, or maybe on the artwork or on canvas. But it's more important to actually be interested in the process, in the technique, in the idea, in the style, so that it can actually also influence how we actually approach the commission. And because with the personal work, it's much easier, because that's where I'm actually also like trying to figure things out by my own, and putting things one and two together, just so that I can have an outcome of something, So it's also very important also to have commissions, because they tend to teach you something different, because it's like putting one and two ideas with someone else who's maybe not really into what you're doing, but they admire it and they want to see it in another vision. So having that conversation, and it definitely also shapes the work and shapes the whole concept of like how we do things, or how we do art.
Great.
How do I think my work inspires others? So my work is it's about the experience, basically. So my work is about giving you that experience of that maybe you've never also like thought of, but it's just like an experience that we tend to live in it each and every day. So my work, I think, it should inspire people in the way that there is no limits to creation. Creation is limitless. Basically, you can do anything. You can draw the moon, type thing. So I think that's how I see how my work actually inspire other people, because as much as I like to play around with material, I like to play around with how I actually paint, and so I think it inspires people that who sense ukuthi yes, actually this can be achieved and it's possible, basically. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. That's a very good question. Unexpected sources. Yes. Oh man. Okay, wait. Can I pass on that one first? I need to actually think about it. I need to think of like how I need to actually layer it and put it there. Unexpected. Well, I guess maybe just everyday life, because like just waking up in the morning and going by your day, and every day is unexpected, but we tend to wake up and put our head up high, and we do what we we are best at. And yeah, being in the studio, and sometimes you never know what you wanna create or what you wanna do or where you wanna go, and just someone calls you to be like, hey, let's meet up, and you meet up, and that person gets to share something very important and that you never thought you were maybe like maybe that was like at the back of your mind, and that person just brings it forward. It's like reshuffling the files, so then when you get back to the studio again, it's like, oh yeah, actually that is actually pretty dope. So you start actually also working on it, and you're like, oh okay, and you find that thing, it actually connects to what you actually was working on. You just needed that one specific person or shift of like going somewhere just to be like, oh, reshuffle the file nyana and have that file back. So yeah, I think that's my unexpected inspiration that actually has been. A piece of art that I wish I had created. Yes. Well, I didn't encounter it like live personally, but there's this artist Ibrahim Mahama. I think I'm saying his name right. Yeah, so he dressed the building with a cloth. So I forgot the building. That's a very interesting one. So he dressed the building with the artwork purple. So I wish I was like also maybe there actually also helping out in terms of like it. Because I think that was a very, very powerful artwork that he did. And there's this also artist Elil Nansui or something. Yeah, African artist with their African names. It's very a little bit difficult to actually also like pronounce them like that. So this other artist actually uses bottle caps. So he puts them together and they make this huge artwork that is actually also like sometimes dripping from the wall, and so those are very inspiring artists that I tend to look up to. And yeah, just maybe to be in their studios and seeing them work, and I think that would be actually be very, very good for me, and with my work also. But yeah, I wish I could have like also created that those works, but I think I have my own journey and my own path, and it's very good that these are the people that are inspiring me in that sense. And somehow kind of feels like my work is also getting to that kind of level, which is pretty much exciting. Slowly but surely. Yeah. Yes, I do document my creative process because for me, my creative process has been a study in terms of like where do I start and where do I finish. And also to have like a finished artwork, it's a very difficult thing to actually be like, oh, this is proper finish. So I document where the artwork starts and where it's going, and to where I think it's at its final stages, basically. So, and I try working with a photographer and a videographer also, to actually, when I'm working, they are in the space and we're chilling, and is working, taking all this content, and so now it has been a thing of like, how do we present that content now, and how do we put it out there? So we're working on that. Yes. Yes, yes. I'm part of the creative blog with Spear at Trust. So that creative blog actually helps me to actually create multiple work. Then I take the elements that are in those different works, then I apply them in a particular piece, so that I can actually. So it's like calculate, then add everything that I calculated, then put them in one specific piece. Then I say, how do those elements also like combine all together? What do they make? Do they make sense? Do they not? And if not, then create more work also to actually be like, okay, so now that work is also like a study, it is put aside, then create something else, so that it actually builds up, and the elements that really communicating communicating the specific language also. So I do that. Pieces of artwork that means a lot to me, and why? I have a lot. I think all of my work actually means a lot to me, because I remember when I started having a studio also, I was telling my mentor that I don't think I want to sell my work. Because I think it really comes from the inside. I feel like I'm selling a little bit of my soul every time my work goes, So I think all of my work I have very deep connections with. But now there's one specific one that I can think of is the rooftop painting, because now also with the experience and the engagement of like how it has been also painted, and how it started off as an idea and it became a reality, and how the audience is receiving it, and they're saying it. So it's not out yet in terms of like social media, and so I'm still working on that in terms of like how to actually display it and put it out there. So I think that's one of like the ones that I can say is very special for me right now, because it's something that I'm actually also still working on, and it is actually also influencing other projects that are actually also happening. So it's a very important one. Work, play hard, have fun, create. Art is a career also. So, and just create, have fun, and explore. Be in spaces, show up, be part of like the community, engage, and have fun. Have fun. It's the most important thing.